Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to this week's market review. My name is Chris. I'm with Elewave Cafe. Welcome to my channel. Let's take a look at the markets. We're gonna go ahead, like always, every single week, follow the core markets. I'm gonna show you kind of our main counts here in the S&P 500. We'll also take a look at the counts in Bitcoin. Not a lot has changed, but definitely, the core markets have been having some interesting moves, and we're going to go through them and see what they're telling us. We're also going to take a look from a bit of a multi iconic perspective. I'm going to have multiple charts just to kind of look at trends, major US indexes right here, and then sector spiders and some industries as well. So S&P 500, I like to start with the quarterly count just to keep me on the right direction in the market, right? And this is obviously from the lower left to the upper right. If you've seen last week videos or if you're familiar with this count, we're continuing to look much higher in this larger third wave that's going to develop in the years ahead. Now, if we go to the weekly time frames, we drop down here. You can see this orange count. Since last week, we've made again new all-time highs. The markets have pulled back a little bit on Thursday. There was a little bit of a reversal, especially in the Magnificent Seven. A lot of the other markets picked up the slack. There was a bit of reorganization, I would say, or rotation, let's say, of funds into different sectors of the market. And nothing really damaging really happened overall. The markets continue to look fairly healthy. Now we got to remember, right, we're coming up into July, and the July, August, September, which are beginning to be kind of on the weaker side. It doesn't mean that we're going to crash or anything like that, but the markets could pause and just kind of move sideways. So no surprise there. This is pretty much consensus. Again, would not be surprised if for the next couple of months, we're not going to have the same amount of gains that we had so far. But I would definitely not fight the tape. There will be signals that are going to come up in the markets if we're starting to break certain levels below key moving averages, things like that. They're going to tell us, hey, reduce some of that bullish exposure, take some profits, maybe even hedge some positions, and that's going to be at a time when the market will tell us. For right now, I think things are still looking pretty healthy. I've been shifting a little bit back into small caps and Dow Jones, and we'll talk about that in a second. But that's the look here on the weekly time frame, and on the daily. Same thing, like we talked last week. Nothing really changed. Actually, we moved higher in here, and we haven't cracked below this line. So this wave count remains healthy, and I'm not adjusting it at the moment. I know that I'm going to be expecting some fours and fives down the road, but they should be pretty well contained here. All right, so that's the S&P 500, and quickly we're going to go through this weekly time frame, so I have time to talk a little bit about Bitcoin and about those sectors and industries. So I'm going to kind of quickly go through these kind of weekly charts. Pretty good volume above the key moving average, nice decent close, maybe a bit extended above the 10-week moving average in here. So coming back towards 5500 would not be a big surprise. If you're breaking below this zone in here towards 53, then I would be worried. Until then, things are looking fine. Now you can see that how the rest of the market kind of picked up the slack. If you equal weight everything into the S&P, those heavy weights pulled market down, but by distributing everything equally, you can see how the RSP, which is the equal weight, actually I think made a new closing high in here, if not very close to it. So that looks pretty healthy on pretty good volume as well. Take a look at the Nasdaq 100. So this is where you have most of the selling, but it didn't even do like a bullish a dark cloud cover or a bearish engulfing, anything like that. It's just a little bit of indecision in here, so I would not put a lot of weight on it just at the moment, just based on one single week. Maybe a little alarm sign, but nothing really too concerning. Same on the composite weekly. Taking a look at semiconductors, they went up to 6K on the SOX, then came back, but look, uptrend is still in place. This candle in here could mean that maybe you're going to revisit 56. If you start to break below these levels right here where my mouse is, then yeah, I would start to reduce some exposure on semiconductors. Until then, things are looking pretty okay. Magnificent Seven. So here is a week where they dropped about 2% on pretty high volume, I guess, going up and then coming back down. So a little bit of a pause. You're going to be waiting for the moving average to catch up. The uptrend is full force. I was actually talking to the guys into my chat, and I was saying, hey, watch, when we're looking at the daily and the weeklies also, but watch every time you break above a trend line that's on the upper side, and you do a move like that and you crack through it on the upside, that's a sign to start to take profits, okay, on that trade, because it's moving at the rate of ascent that is different from what it's been having so far, and trusts like that upwards, are good places to kind of sell in and then reposition back when they're pulling back. So that's a little bit of a trick to kind of get you out of positions on when people get excited about a move, and then you're kind of selling to them. Okay, so that's Magnificent Seven. Dow Jones, very good signal. Again, we went long in here. I think was it on Thursday last week? Yeah, Thursday, and then I think I had it on Friday as well, because it's been starting to act really well. We talked about this last week, and now we're finally getting those confirmation from prices. Actually, if I try to let me go to my daily routine here, and I'm going to go to my macro daily here. You'll see I'm going to quickly show you the Dow, because I think that's important. This is kind of what I do every day, and just kind of go through these charts. Dow Jones average. Now, not a lot of people are trading the Dow, and it doesn't matter. You can use a triple leverage like UDOW or something, if you want to get more juice out of this thing. But look at this. I said buy point, and I put it into the newsletter. I don't know, or several days ago or something, maybe even last week. Said I'm going to be watching this. The moment it breaks, we're going long. So it did, and right now we're about 3 days kind of of pretty decent buying in here again, breaking to new highs. So very important, to look at the daily, see how it behaves, but also keep in mind the pattern on the weekly. So I'm bullish on this thing. I think it's based on this. My expectation is that it will actually start to develop and go much higher here. So we'll see. If it starts to break back about 38.5, then we got issues. But until then, I like what I see. Right, Dow Jones. Then taking a look at IWM, it's another one that we initiated positions. I'm on TNA, which is the 111. It can be on IWM as well. Doesn't matter. That's up to personal choice. But big rounding bottom in here. It started to build in terms of Elliott wave count. I think I showed that into one of my updates, but let me go to IWM in here on the weekly, and that's what I'm looking for. I think I must have put it on Twitter. So 1 2 1 2, and I think we're starting to look much better. That's the lower time frame on the daily, and look at the break. Now this disappointed before, and it could be tricky, right? It's not a guaranteed, but my expectation is based on this, we should be beginning a larger third wave. If we don't, we're going to get out. But so far, I like this breakout. It's close to above these highs that held for quite a while in here, and I'm expecting a move towards 230 to 35 over the maybe to the rest of the year. We'll see how long it takes. You could come back, retest, and spend time and build and all of that, right? Accumulate. Doesn't have to be a straight shot higher, but just need to be patient. That's all it is. All right, Bitcoin in here. I showed that chart, and I'm going to go on here on the weekly. Right, that's the fourth wave in my view. You can disagree. I don't know how you want to label it. You want to label it a 2? I think it's maybe a bit too aggressive to be labeled a 2. Let's be respectful to the fact that this looks like a third wave. Label this as a 4 for now. Of course, it could fail. Of course, it could be this market could turn and all of a sudden, hit 35 for whatever reason. I don't know, right? We don't know what's behind all of this. And if it does, then, that's one of the reasons why I'm not long yet on Bitcoin. Sure, I have my long positions from, back, 2017, 2018. But in here to open fresh new longs, there's two ways, right? There's two ways to do it. You could wait for this fourth wave to start to confirm and move a little bit more. You could do it based on the 10-week moving average and just have stops below it. You don't want to see a weekly close below this thing. You can do it like that, right? That's a different strategy. Or you could wait for this to be to start to look a little bit better in terms of a little bit more buying. And I'm going to take you back to the daily here in a second to show you what I mean. But basically, if it's a fourth wave, it might need another week or two to kind of still move sideways. But bottom line, I think you want to see this move above this level back here, right? Just above whatever that is, 65, 66K. If you want to wait until this breaks, you get more confirmation, but you're going to be losing a bunch of downside. So you gotta look at this carefully and just kind of pick it. But let me show you again. I'm going to go here to my daily routine and go to Bitcoin, and I'll show you up there on the daily time frames. I shouldn't talk too much about this, but this is kind of my zone, right? We'll start to be interested in buying once above these levels. Why? Because so far it looks good, right? So far it looks like the buyers are coming in, but you're trading below key levels. You're trading below 60K, you're trading below key moving averages. The RSI is still in the red, is not above 50. The PPO, it's still struggling, but the buyers are coming in. Let them do it. I'll let them do it. I don't care. I don't need to be with them. Let them do it. Let her take the pain in case this turns around and moves lower, right? I want to see them break 60K. I want to see them break this key zone, and then I'm going to jump in, start to build a position. If you want to, let's say, have a full position, whatever it is, let's say, I'm just giving you a number, it doesn't have to be mine or yours, like let's say $10,000, right? You're going to buy $2,500 worth. Then as it moves higher, you're going to add another 25, another 25, another 25 until you're hitting that $10,000 limit for a full position. And that by the time you're building all that, you could already be towards 70K. And then, at least you have that confirmation that buyers are coming in. So that's my plan, to each his own. So for me, it's still a bit risky here. That's all I'm saying in terms of Bitcoin, but I do like what I see. So it's encouraging, right? I'm watching it every day. Same for Ethereum, nice three-wave move straight into this 40-week moving average. Again, let's just see if we can break about 34K, about 36, and then I'll get confidence and start to really hit it to see if we can get towards 5,000 in Ethereum. Then really quickly, US 10-year rates are starting to break lower, 419. We all heard about the Fed starting their cutting cycle probably sometimes in September. Maybe they'll do another one or maybe two more for the rest of the meetings to the rest of the year. But it seems that the market is starting to kind of trying to price that in, and that's why you see the small cap starting to move and all of that. But it's a signal that probably is going to help Bitcoin as well, lower rates. US dollar, again, just based on those lower yields and anticipation of rates starts to move lower. You can see gold pushing higher as well. I like this. I think you got to buy gold here. That's a signal that's telling you, again, fourth wave, and even if it's a fifth, it could be extended. Nobody knows, but I think, being involved here, it's worth it. I mean, I like what I see. That's a nice hammer on big volume. I think gold is poised to break 2450 and move towards 2600 based on that pattern. Silver pattern is not as pretty as gold it is. But here, 10-week moving average, I'm sorry, the 10-week moving average held very nicely. If gold moves, silver could move as well. It might, be a little iffy, but anyway, between the two, I would choose gold because it looks a little bit better in terms of patterns. And then crude oil, again, back at that line and being rejected over there, so it doesn't do much. Volatility, it's about 1246. Now, quickly, when you want to see what the markets are doing, the way I kind of look at it, just to kind of have an idea, where everything is on a quick view. Like on stock charts, you can do a candle glance view. These are weekly time frames with a 30-week moving average. Right, so I look from the left to right. They're ordered in descending order from their RSI strength. So you can see Russell, and this is the major U.S. indexes. Let me see if this is. I should have had. Okay, let me do this, and I'll come back to that. Duplicate this because I think I missed one. Major markets right here. So. Basically, we're going to start with looking at the US and around the globe, just on a quick look, right? So you can see Dow Jones Global Index. I mean, look at all these moving averages, right? Bull markets trending higher. How far they're above that moving average, that could be a concern, right? That could be in a pullback, but it doesn't mean by any way that, you're in a bear market or you're beginning one, right? That takes time to form. So Dow Jones, emerging markets excluding China, EM, Global World Index, S&P 500, World Index with Dow US, Dow Jones, New York Stock Exchange, Canada, Nasdaq Composite, American Composite, DAX, Germany. Look how beautiful this looks. Top 50 stocks in the euro, I think they're right here. Very nice setups. Top 100 stocks, and France, broke lower. So you just avoid this. It doesn't look very healthy at the moment, but the rest of them really do. Now, major U.S. indexes start with the Russell. First one, beautiful. S&P 500 trending. Dow Jones threatening to break. Dow Jones Composite, S&P 100, small caps. Look at this. Right, closing up there. I think it's poised to go down. Utilities, some of these I would avoid, like transports, doesn't look that pretty. Mid caps look okay. Nasdaq 100, like I said, pausing, and value line starting to kind of get back. Now, sector spiders. Looks like XLRE had a pretty good move. This is real estate because of lower yield, anticipation of lower rates. Then you have discretionary, you have financials. Beautiful lines. The only one that's a bit flat is energy. Staples I don't really care about much. Communication straight, beautiful uptrend. Materials, I think that's an ABC into the 30 week. I think that's pretty good, and it's probably a buy signal above that swing high. Industrials are a buy right here. XLK, maybe a pause. And then I think financials are also a buy, nice break. I think they're coming with their earnings and, should continue nicely. XLV also closing higher. So see, this is just giving me a very quick sense of what's going on in the market. If I see a bunch of these candles, instead of being white, being black, if the moving averages are turning lower, just a quick glance at the market tells me, hey, reduce exposure, play defensive, raise some cash, put hedges on, and be a bit more safe. And then look at the industries. I got about 30 in here. I don't even know what this is. This is probably multimedia or something. Tech, multimedia, networking, breaking higher. Maybe there's not a lot of volume in there, or maybe anyway. Telecom, insurance brokers, biotech with the beautiful break. KRE, KB. These are banks. This is trending lower. This is not that healthy. PPH in here. Then you're looking at some MLPs, and you got. Look, transports. Again, more insurance. You got software, tech. A bunch of these lines are just trending higher. Even retail, right? SMH. Now you look back here, aerospace kind of flat, XOP, agriculture, oil, tan, not areas that jets, doesn't look good. There's a picture in here that tells you that you want to be looking to buy dips in these industries. If you want to trade ETFs or look inside to find decent stocks, or maybe the leading stocks in those industries, whatever. But the point of this is just that, this is giving you a quick look at kind of what works, what doesn't, how the patterns are forming, and you can kind of pick and then dive more in over there. So anyway, you can find me as always right here at elliottwavecafé.com, the daily drip, just writings and videos, and there's a chat there's a course if you want to refresh, whatever. This is about $8 a month. It's almost free. If you guys want to join, have at it. There's a bunch of guys in there. So very easy, quick 4 or 5 minute videos, about 3-4 minute read every single day, just covering the markets, throwing in some stocks that look good, telling you my positions, what I do. So have at it. I'll talk to you later. Bye.